What's up, everyone? Welcome to our first distance delivered video via the Mathnasium for Math for the Trades. I'm pretty excited about it, I gotta say. I hope everyone's doing all right. But we're going to finish off where we left before spring break. We were looking at what's something called an amortization schedule, it's like basically shows how you are paying off a loan or a house. There are many different types of loans that follow this pattern, and they all behave roughly the same. Basically, you're borrowing a lump sum of money. In this case, we're going for a $150,000 home, which is a fairly inexpensive home for the area of Fairbanks. The rate at which we are borrowing, the annual percentage rate, or APR, is 5%, 0.05. We are going to be paying this house off over the course of 30 years, and so 12 months in a year, which means we'll be making 360 payments to the bank or the lender. So how does paying back the bank work? Basically, this is the annual percentage rate. Every year you are going to pay back, really every month, you're going to pay back a portion of what you owe to the house. So every year you're going to pay back 5% of the value that you still owe until there's nothing left. So the first thing that you're going to do when you are approved for a loan, assuming you are approved at this rate, is you're going to calculate the monthly payment for that loan. So we're going to do this right now. This will be interesting. This will be fun. We kind of did this last time, but I'm going to do it a quicker way here. We're going to follow this equation. A equals P. You will have to do this on your assignment. I'll allow you to use a calculator online, but you can do it by hand, and I'll do that too. P is the principal. This is the amount borrowed. Like if you were to make a down payment on a house, and the house was like, let's say $200,000, and you paid a down payment of $30,000, then the amount borrowed would be $170,000. What's remaining? So principal is the amount borrowed. The interest rate here is the rate for that pay period. When you pay a mortgage back, you don't pay once a year, you pay once a month. So our monthly rate is equal to, let's go back over here. It is equal to the annual percentage rate divided by 12. So our monthly rate is, we're paying about 0.42%. So that's this letter R. It says the interest rate per pay period. And then N is the total number of pay periods. That would be 360. So let's go ahead and plug this equation in. We're going to do the principal times, now we have, here's the principal, times the top and bottom of our fraction. I'm just going to go ahead and type those in right here, top and bottom, bingo, bango. In the top, which is this portion here, is the interest rate for the pay period, times, now we have the parentheses, that being these two parentheses, in there is 1 plus that same interest rate, and then we take this group of parentheses and raise that with the caret symbol, that's shift 6, to the 360th power. In the denominator of the fraction, down here, we have a second group of parentheses. We're going to do 1 plus, click on that interest rate again, raise that to the 360th power, and then we're going to subtract 1, and we should get 805. There you go. So what does this number mean? Now, you can pause the video and look at that equation. There is an easier way to get that, but as this is a math class, I want you to see where the math comes from and not just use a function pre-built into Excel. What does this number mean for us? What does it mean for you? It means that every month for 360 months, you are going to pay the bank $805.23 and a smidge. So that means we can calculate the total that you are going to pay the bank, right? We'll do that in just a minute. Let's just do it right now. What the heck? So the total cost of this house let's make this bold. The total cost of this house is equal to this box times 360. You are going to pay the bank a grand total for your house, $289,883.67, 68 cents if you're rounding up. Now remember, mind you, this house costs $150,000 before you borrowed from the bank. Okay, and this is not including things like property tax. It's not including things like closing costs and any other fees or HOA fees or utility fees. This is just the interest that's causing that extra difference. So let's calculate the interest paid to the bank. Okay, interest paid to the bank is going to be equal to, so put an equal sign, this box minus what the house originally cost. You paid the bank $139,883.67 more than the cost of your house. If you are paying an annual percentage rate of 5%, you almost pay for your house twice when you pay for it over 30 years. Now, yeah, so times 360. I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna change that to times whatever this box is. Not gonna change anything, but that way if I change this to 15 years, it's not updating the other one. Oh well, not super important. This is crazy, right? You pay an extra $139,000 to the bank. That's how it works, and that's the agreement that you sign. I also want you to see what's happening from month to month so we can understand how this payment progression works. So we're going to kind of create and we're going to see the loan slowly eat away in this amortization schedule. The box, so when you start, you're on pay period 0, you have no monthly payment, you have no interest payment, you have no principal payment. Right when you start, you owe the bank $150,000, assuming that's what you borrowed, okay? So what we are going to do is we're going to say this box, the pay period, this is always going to increase by 1 from each month. So you say equals the box above it plus 1, bingo. Okay, what's my monthly payment? My monthly payment is always going to be, put an equal sign, whatever this box is that we calculated. Now, you have to put dollar signs around the first letter. That kind of locks it as a reference. Don't worry about that, just some Excel mumbo jumbo. Okay, great. So that's going to happen. That's fixed. That's going to be the same. Your monthly payment is going to be the same every single month for 360 months. Okay, so what's the interest payment? How much do we pay the bank on the first month? Well, it's all dependent on what you owe, the loan balance. So what you do here is you're paying, since this is a monthly payment, you take your monthly rate and you multiply it by what is left over. On your first interest payment is $625. So that means of the $805 that you paid the bank, $625 of it goes to the bank, as in goes towards this $139,000. Okay, so how much of it actually goes to what you owe? So we do 805 minus 625. Ooh, $180.23 goes to your loan balance, so we can make a big $180 payment equals this minus that. Okay, and again, I apologize if you hear a Bug's Life or Kung Fu Panda going off in the background, like a little whippersnapper running around. Okay, so recap, first month you paid $805, only $180 of it actually got taken away from your house. What happens in the first year? Now that we've done this formula throughout our entire sheet, I can click and drag down. Let's go down 9. Whoops. Slight error here. Oh, I forgot the relative reference here. That needs to be a relative reference on that box. Let's try that again. Down, dragging down. 10, 11, 12. So don't forget to put your dollar signs around. So just like I put dollar signs around G5 here, don't forget to put dollar signs around our reference to the monthly rate, C4. All right, so let's look at the first year. You pay, in the first year of paying off your house, you pay $800, $805, 12 times, which means you pay roughly $10,000 to the bank. And how much have you paid off the value of your house? Not much. Not much. A little over $2,000. Of that $10,000, a little over $2,000 actually went to paying off your house. So what portion of the house do you own? Well, about $2,000 of it. The bank just took a whole ton of your money. Okay? So as we continue this pattern down, this is going to go for 360 pay periods, as you can see me going down the list. This is a lot of money. You can see the $800. Every single line that we pass is $800 that you are spending. That is doing the math. It's doing the math. 360 pay periods. And then you have your, you have it zeroing out. That's basically zero. There's some little rounding things going on, but basically, but look at the ending payments. Once you get to the end of your 360 pay periods, you can see here that the amount when you pay your $805, so only 23 of it is going to the bank and 782 is going towards what's left on your house. So you're making a huge difference towards the end, but you're not at the beginning. And so why is that kind of a problem? Well, that's a problem because a lot of people maybe will struggle for paying for their house in the first couple months, right? Or the first couple of years. Maybe they struggle paying for their house and they've sunk $50,000, $60,000 into their house, but they haven't paid off most of their house. They still have this huge debt because most of it's been going to the bank. So what can happen a lot of times is people don't pay off their house. The house is then taken away from them because they cannot pay, and they're forced to sell it or move on. And it's the bank's house. They own it, right? The bank owns the house because they put up the money for it. The bank paid for it, and you have to pay them back. So the bank can just resell it and make all that money again, and that's how the loan business can kind of work sometimes. And it's a great option for some people. Some people, it's the option that they need. But the numbers speak for themselves, folks. If you buy a house, $150,000 house at 5% annual percentage rate, you're paying the bank an extra $140,000 over the course of 30 years. I don't think anyone gets excited about that. So it's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's throw away 140 grand. That sounds like a great idea. Just kidding. All right. So let's not do it by hand. Let's use the mortgage calculator. So fortunately, you don't have to do an Excel spreadsheet every time you want to do something like this. There are calculators online that will do all of this for you. So that's what you should use. It'll minimize errors and you get your feedback. Let's make sure we get the same numbers that we did with our sheet. So we're going to buy our $150,000 house for 30 years at 5%. We're not going to include any of this stuff, even though realistically you're going to have to pay for house insurance, you're going to have to pay taxes, you're going to have to pay for insurance on your mortgage, whatever, HOA fees. Those are all included in a real house purchase, but I'm just for the simplicity's sake, let's just look at the mortgage calculator. And yeah, let's go ahead and hit it. Now notice we should get 805.23. If we look back at our lesson, that's the price we got with the equation. We get the same 289,000 for the total, and we get the same 139,883.68 for our interest paid. So what is that? That feels good. You know, the math we did has now been validated by calculator.net. Thank you, calculator.net, for all of the security, mental security that you've provided us. Now let's do it by hand, just in case you are insane like me. Let's do that. All right, here we go. Same thing. You can do this by hand. That's how it was done in the old-fashioned days. Let's grab a color. All right, principal. Okay, so the amount, our monthly payment, is equal to our principal, which is $150,000, times, now in the top we have our our monthly interest rate, which is 0.05 divided by 12, or 0.00416. 0.00416, beautiful, times 1 plus 0.00416 raised to the 360th power, divided by 1 plus 0.00416. Again, that comes from 0.05 divided by 12 minus 1. All right, we do all this math. So what you're going to do here is this is just 1 plus that, then you raise that to 360th power, and times here, and I don't remember what number I got. Let me find my calculator, see if I can pull this up. I think you end up getting in the top, in the top you get, let me write this again, 150,000. I got something like 0.018615, and in the bottom you get $3.4677 roughly. So you take this fraction, you'll get a decimal, multiply it by 150,000, and you're going to get your interest payment of $805.23. Your monthly payment. There it is. That's how you do it by hand. Isn't that fun? Man, math is fun. Golly gee. All right, that's video 1 of my 2-part series on loans, credit, debt. If you want to watch my next one, that's going to be me kind of offering some other wisdom. I'm not a financial expert, but I'm going to give you what I got and try and help you as best I can. Hopefully that was helpful. What do you have to do for your assignment? You have to do this calculation. You can use the calculator. You just need to know how to use that calculator on the website. If not, do it by hand. It's not too terrible. And yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Thanks for watching.